Hi guys, Penny Rose Journals, how you doing? Okay, we are here with a food box. Just some food packaging. This happens to be little cheesecakes, highly recommend. I am going to show you today how to make an exposed spine journal. Well, I'm going to show you the beginning of it, and next time we'll bind it together. But today we're going to start from scratch. We're going to go through and we're going to make one from scratch so I can explain every step for those who just have never done this before. So first of all, we're going to cut the tabs off of our box, and then I'm going to go and sharpen my knife because that was ridiculous. So we'll cut off both ends of the tabs of the box and then take it from there. Okay, now we're going to find the joint in the box and cut that corner off. And then once that corner is cut off, we will fold it out and take this flap off of this side. We don't want that either. Okay, we have a book. Ta-da, book. Now I'm going to cover this book, but here is one that I particularly liked the packaging of. It's a old Polaroid box. So I used contact, clear contact, the plastic sticky stuff that you cover school books with. I used that to cover it because I liked the box. But first, before we think about covering it, I am actually going to make this a bit smaller. This book is a bit too wide for me. I would prefer my book to be more traditionally book shaped at this point. So I'm just going to cut off a bit of either side. I will do that and we'll keep these pieces. We'll do something with those. But first of all, we need to make each side the same length. So I am taking about 5 centimeters off either side of this one, and that will make it a bit more traditionally book shaped. So there. Now I want to cover this. It doesn't matter what you want to cover it with. I had not made a plan at this point, so I just grabbed the first thing I saw, which was this piece of brown paper. Now you could put stamps on this, you could paint on it, you could do whatever to jazz it up a bit. You could cover it entirely in something else, or you can do all that afterwards. Once you've made your book, if you can't think what you want to do, then just get it covered and decorate it afterwards. So we are just going to cover this like you would cover a school book. I'm just going to grab an old glue stick because I'm trying to use them up. Just use the spongy bit that's left. And I am just going to cover this with glue, stick it to my piece of paper. I will cut the corners, trim the corners quite closely. Not too close because you don't want gaps, but yeah, I don't know if you've ever covered a school book, but this is how you do it. I am just going to use a card. Plastic cards are very handy to have in your craft room. If you've never done this before, it's a really good way to get things stuck nice and securely by running a card over the top. Now I'm just going to fold these little flaps in after cutting the corners off, and we'll glue those down as well. And that's essentially our book covered. Now, because this is going to be an exposed spine book, it means you will see the stitching for all the pages that go into the book through on the back of the spine when you look at it. So I need to cover the inside of this, so it's all covered up and looking nice when I stitch the pages in. So we're going to just use this piece of dictionary page that's been coffee dyed and whatnot, and just stick it to the inside of this cover, and then our cover's essentially finished and we can start doing other things. Okay, just for fun, I'm going to grab one of these pieces of card that we cut off and make a couple of little cards for the inside of our journal with it. This is what I do with these little offcuts of card most often. I will cover them with whatever scraps I've got lying around and make some little journal cards. It's just something interesting to slot into your journal for people to find. And if you put a little bit of blank paper on the back, you can even write on them. Just leave a little note or whatnot. You could even pull them out and use them as gift cards if you wanted to. Just punch a hole in the corner and tie them to a gift, and yeah. Or use them as a bookmark. There's tons of things you can do with them. So yeah, versatile little thing to decorate your journal with. Now I want to decorate these up a little bit more, so I find a little scrap of paper on my desk where I have done some intuitive writing on a book page with some acrylic paint painted on it. I just do this for fun, sit and doodle on book pages. And I also find some little botanicals, little floral sort of pictures that I doodle on cookbook pages, the coloured pages out of cookbooks, and cut them out, and then I can use them as a focal point, something decorative to put on a card or a journal cover or a page or whatever I want. So, I'm all about junk. So I don't throw anything out, and I don't tend to buy much to decorate journals with. It's all about using what you've got lying around. So these are a couple of things that I do to provide myself with something interesting to decorate with. Okay, that was a little bit of fun. Now we have another two to do. I'll do them at another time, but just wanted to show you what I would do with all the offcuts. Anyway, it's time to choose our pages, so I will show you how I would do that. Okay, you can use just about anything as a junk journal page. I have some ink stained papers here. I have some painted papers here. I have some stenciled on and doodled on book pages. I have some just coffee dyed book page. These are my decorative pages. There's old office papers in here. There's coffee dyed kids sketchbook in here. There's old diary pages and coloured papers. It's all been coffee dyed. You do not have to coffee dye. If you would just like to use raw papers, you can do that. It's not an issue. Make your junk journal out of anything you like. My kind of junk journaling is using things that have been discarded and are going to go into landfill unless I use them. Some people like to use scrapbook papers and digitals and stuff, and it's no less legitimate. It's just not my style. So what I use is junk, and it's a fully junk journal. You can make trashy journals too, which I don't tend to do, which is just use, absolute junk. Like food packaging, chip packets, and junk mail and things like that. I don't use a lot of that, but everybody has a different style, and this just happens to be mine. But don't limit yourself to doing things that other people do. Use anything you grab that you want to use, because that's the beauty of junk journaling. You can put anything in your junk journal, and in any way that you see fit. Now, as you can see, I'm not much of a measurer. I like to just measure things up sort of against my book cover to measure them. I have no idea what the dimensions of anything is. And I also like to tear with a ruler. You can measure with a pencil and a knife and a pair of scissors and anything else that you have and cut beautifully and do whatever you want. I choose to tear and sort of wing it when it comes to measuring. But the whole process now basically is taking all these pages we've selected and cutting them down to size so that they look like pages that will fit into our junk journal. So that's what I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. I'm making pages. First I'm going to do the decorative ones, and then I'll do the sort of more plain ones that are easier to write on. Now, if you're looking at the decorative pages going, what do I want those in my book for? It's just interest, just something to look at. And if you don't want them in, don't put them in. If you want them in, but you're like, oh, I'd still want to write on them, then stick a piece of paper over them. You can have your decorative page and cut a piece of office paper, say that's been printed on one side. Cut it down to the size of your page, slightly smaller than the size of your page, so you can see the decorative border around it, and just stick it to your decorative page, and then you can write on it as well as having something in there that's just a bit different than the rest of the pages. So yeah, And if you have papers that are too small, you can always glue other pieces of paper on them to make your pages a bit bigger. I did not do that this time. This time I've actually only taken pages that are bigger and cut them down. But yeah, don't limit yourself. Just go out and do whatever it is that makes your heart sing, because that's what junk journaling is all about. And in the end of the day, you end up with a book, and that's cool, I've got to say. Who makes books? I mean, come on. It's a cool hobby. Give it a go. Now, you saw me cut those pages down or tear them down to size. You don't have to do that either. You can fold them instead. These ones I'm going to obviously tear to the height of the book, but the width of the book, I'm just going to fold them back. So, yeah, you can fold them out and read them, or, like I say, stick a piece of paper to them, and you've got an area you can fold out and write on that's kind of a little bit hidden. Just another bit of interest for your book. Okay, I had to cut a bit out there, but yeah, all I was doing was folding more pages, so same old, same old. These were just all the office pages and plain papers. So we are going to just squish down the spine of those a little bit so they're nice and crisp. Like I say, these plastic cards are invaluable in your craft room. Now, we pretty much have enough pages, but I'd like to put a few more lined pages in, so I'm going to grab a few more of those and cut them down, and then we will start thinking about how we're going to put this book together. Another thing to think about to add a bit of interest to your book is your pages don't have to all be the same height either. You can have smaller pages, say half pages or something dotted in here and there, just because you had a little piece of paper that you liked the look of and thought it would fit in. They don't all have to be exactly the same. Yeah, just something to keep in mind. Okay, that's all our pages. We are all done folding pages. Now we are going to start building what we call signatures. Now, why do we call them signatures? I have no idea. They are just the little bundles of paper that make up the paper inside your book that you sew them in signatures. So how many signatures do you need? Well, enough to make it look right. If you put one signature in, it's going to look ridiculous. Just when you look at the top of your book, you're just going to have a big bundle of pages sewn in the middle of your book and all this space on either side. With a book with a spine, that's the back piece of your book. With a book this size, I would probably put about 4 or 5 signatures in. I'm choosing to do 4 for this one. Just because, well, the more signatures, the more sewing you have to do, and 4 will look fine. If you put in 5, it will look fine too, maybe a little better, who knows. It depends on your point of view, but 4 is quite enough for this. So I'm going to build 4 signatures, and I'm going to make them about 10 pages each. Now, I tend to make my signatures 10 pages. You do not have to. You can put 8 pages, you can put 3 pages, you can put 12 pages, you can do whatever you like. 10 is a nice, easy number to remember. I usually use 10. Just depends on the width of the thickness of your paper, and whether you feel like it's enough or not. So again, it's all trial and error. You do what you feel like doing and see if it works out. So we put them all in piles, and now we're shuffling them all together into little bundles, and each bundle is called a signature. And there we go, we have 4 little signatures, and they fit beautifully in our little book. Now that's where we're going to leave things for today. When we come back next time, we will sew our signatures into our book, and she will be a complete book. But yeah, I don't want to overdo it for today. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back to see her sewn together. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for being here. Bye.